Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host Paul. Now let's turn it up to 11 and get into Stranger Things. The latest news from the Upside Down is now here, and with filming underway, I thought we'd look at everything we know about the show. Throughout this video, we're going to be going through all that we've learned, as well as the official announcements and leaks on the series. If you enjoy the video, please hit that Upside Down dislike button, and make sure you subscribe. But out of the way, a huge thank you for clicking this. Now let's get into Stranger Things. Ooh. Alright, so the announcement that Season 5 was being shot came from the Stranger Things Instagram with a posting the following.
This is a code red. Stranger Things 5 production has officially begun.
In the post, we also got the cast and crew, and on the whole, they all kind of look like how we left them. We can see Hopper's still got a shaved head, and that Steve's hair's also similar too, which I kind of feel bad for him having to rock that. Now this makes me think the series might pick up almost immediately after the events of Season 4, though there are some slight differences that you might notice. Finn Wolfhard's hair's a hell of a lot shorter, and Millie Bobby Brown's hair's so long we're gonna have to get those clippers out. Sorry. Now because of this, fans were going back and forth over whether we get a time jump, and there were theories this could be set in the 90s. However, I don't think that's the case, with David Harbour's shaved head indicating things are continuing. Wolfhard can get a bloody wig, and you could even make one out of Millie Bobby's hair, to be fair. Now, he's obviously going to just be having shorter hair, which we saw in one of the behind-the-set photos. It shows him sat on a stool, and you can even catch a poster for A New Hope in the back. This poster was from before it was called A New Hope, and it brings a tear to my eye, because I actually used to have one. Elle magazine brought up an interview with the Duffer Brothers where they talked about how they were going to handle the cast aging. They said they weren't going to be using de-aging and instead were going to rely on hair and makeup. On top of this, Ross Duffer also posted a picture on Instagram showing that they had a stick of a Halley's Comet. The dates on this are November 85 to April 86, and we know that Season 4 was set in March 86. Because of this, I think the time jump's out of the question, and thus we will just remain in the 80s and pick up where we left off. Now if you love the 80s, then I think you're going to like this, and please bear with us for 70 seconds while we shout out the video's sponsor.
Hey! Now this video is sponsored by Fan Home, who've just launched an amazing new thing where you can build your own E.T. the Extraterrestrial. You know we love covering the classics at the channel, and I was so hyped when these guys hit me up because E.T., it's one of my favourite movies ever. Back in the 80s, the adorable alien captivated moviegoers and became an icon for an entire generation. And now he's back, and you can show your love for E.T. by assembling this amazing replica of him. Coming in at 26 inches tall, they've got sound effects and phrases from the movie, lights in his finger and chest, an extendable and retractable neck, movable arms, a movable face, and also a movable mouth. You can also remote control him for some action and the language section. Pre-order this amazing replica now by using my link in the description and the code SPOILERS. With that, you'll get an exclusive free gift if you subscribe today. That is the E.T. Extraterrestrial Backpack, which is available now for a limited time only. The Assembly Stage 1 is just $1.95 to subscribe, and Assembly Stage 2 with that comes absolutely free. Like I said, you'll also get the backpack as well, so definitely check out my link in the description, use the code SPOILERS, get building this because it's incredible. Huge thank you to Fan Home for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back into the breakdown. Thanks.
Now on top of this, we also had a photo released showing the script for the opening of Season 5. This says,
Darkness, the sound of cold wind, groaning trees, and a child's voice singing a familiar song.
Now people have been going back and forth over what this is, but shoutouts to Stranger Frames for what I think has nailed it. This is Will singing Should I Stay or Should I Go, which comes from Season 1 Episode 7. It makes me wonder if we're going to flash back to the Upside Down and see Vecna manipulating things behind the scenes. As we learn, he was the one controlling it all, and thus they might want to wreck on him, so it makes a bit more sense. They did a similar thing during Season 4, with us of course getting Eleven's backstory laced throughout the season. Netflix also recently posted the cover of the script, and we know the episode's going to be called The Crawl. That takes Cynthia time back in time. So Winter Loki on Twitter theorized that this could be a nod to the lyrics of Master of Puppets by the band Metallica. In that we hear, come crawling faster, obey your master. Jumping off from this, it's been thought that Will might be called back to Vecna in the series, and that there'll be elements of mind control. We have heard from the leaks that Will's going to play a big part, and thus it makes sense to start with him as well. Obviously, Noah Schnapp's been causing a Schnapp storm online, and it's going to be interesting to see if that's still the case, due to these shows often being rewritten while in production. I feel like either way we'll obviously get a strong focus on 11, and that might be what takes us through the main thrust of it. I really feel like 8 might return from Season 2, and that we could see things coming full circle from that. Vecna could be retconned there too, and yeah, let me know your thoughts below on how they're gonna handle it. Honestly, I just hope it's about Eddie coming crawling out alive, but that's a Matthew time, I'll be back in time. Obey your master. On top of this, we also got a clip released back in September, with the account also saying something sweet is coming. Even got the board with you suck on there, and yeah, I'm scratching my theory time self trying to figure out what's going on. Let me know below if you do, and if we do a follow-up video, then we'll promise to give you a shout out. Can tell your mates, can tell your parents, can tell the girl at the bar, and probably pull a fucking 10, mate. Shabow! Season 4 really ramped up the production scale, with those final 2 episodes being massive events. I remember them being like, the finale is going to be a feature-length film, and I was just thinking that they might be talking shit. But now that finale was 142 minutes long, with it really showing how much the series had grown. I'm kind of expecting something similar in this series, with them really ramping up the runtimes and what they're able to do. Production-wise, you can see a major difference from Season 1 and 4, and I'm expecting that evolution to carry on here. Show's producer Sean Levy recently told Total Film that you can expect Season 5 to expand on what's come before. Huge shoutouts to Elle magazine for compiling all his quotes, and they also brought up that he said this as well. It's a major cinematic storytelling that happens to be called a TV series. Stranger Things 5 is as big as any of the biggest movies that we see. On top of this, Elle dived deep into interviews with the Duffer Brothers to talk about their plans for the season. Normally it's like, oh, we get to revisit the characters in their normal lives, and how they're doing, and what are their relationships like. And 5 is just going to be pedal to the metal from the opening scene. At least that's what I remember from the outline. We do have an outline for Season 5, and we pitched it to Netflix, and they really responded well to it. I mean, it was hard, it was the end of the story. I saw executives crying who I've never seen cry before, and it was wild. It's not just to do with the story, just the fact of it's like, oh my god, this thing has defined so many of our lives. These Netflix people who've been with us from the beginning, 7 years now. And it's hard to imagine that journey coming to an end. Now yeah, we do know that the show will be finishing with the 5th season, which is something that's often been talked about. David Harbour last year confirmed this as well, with him saying that he's happy to close this chapter after 9 years. He stated the upcoming season was going to be the most difficult thing he'd done in terms of scale, and that we'd also take a closer look at Hopper. He said there's a lot of complexities revealed in him, and that we're going to look at the character's finer details. Guessing that we're going to learn more of his backstory, which is something that they haven't touched upon massively. We know that he was drafted into Vietnam, and that the character was part of the Chemical Corps. We also know that he had a rough childhood, and both of these things are ripe to explore. Could really help to inform us of why he is the way he is, and I'd love to see that for some meaty character development. Now, as with every series, we're going to be getting some new characters, including the legendary Linda Hamilton. We've got breakdowns of both Terminator films on the channel now, and I think she's going to bring a lot into the show. She's of course an 80s icon, and it was met with
great success
when they announced her to Doom back in June. Unfortunately, we don't know who she'll be playing yet, but I'm really excited to see her in the show. That group's shot also shows Sadie Sink is back, which was a big thing hanging over the end of Season 4. Really excited to see where they go with it, and hope she's running up that hill, she's running up that road, she's running up that building, come on! Really need to rest my voice, because you probably hear I've got a cold, shouldn't be doing that, but it was worth it, because I know you guys hit the thumbs up button over that singing. Now, as for the release date, unfortunately, we've got a big gap between seasons, and we've pretty much watched those kids growing up in front of us. When Season 4 released in 2022, Harbour did theorise they'd start shooting in 2023. He then said, based off how it tends to work, that it meant they'd have it out about mid-2024. Unfortunately, the writers and actors strike slowed it all down, and as they've just started shooting this month, it's going to be delayed. So I'd expect the series now to probably release mid-2025, unless they split those seasons up again. You might remember with Season 4 that they released it in 2 parts, and lots of shows seem to be doing that these days. You is doing it, not you. Invincible is as well, and it just means they can make more money with people subscribing for longer. It also means they get more time to finish up the latter parts of the season, so yeah, that's how I imagine that it's going to go. However, if they are making stuff bigger and badder, then it also makes sense that this season might take longer too. If they have more feature-length episodes in this one, then we're probably going to see a bigger delay. Still though, Well, I'm holding out for that mid to latter half of 2024 release, which breaks my heart a bit, but I'm just having to be realistic. Anyway, that wraps up the video, and huge thank you for coming on this journey. Reckon yourself before you wreck yourself, and make sure you drop a comment below giving us your thoughts. Please subscribe, and if you want to support the channel as a member of the Spoiler Society, then please click the join button. You'll get early access to videos every week, and it goes such a long way to helping us out. If you want to get some heavy spoilers merch, we've also got our t-shirt line located below the video that will let you pick up all kinds of tops like our Theory Time one, House of Dragon stuff, Marvel tees, and a lot more. We drop new designs on there all the time too, so definitely keep an eye out, and thank you for your support. Now if you want something else to watch, you've got a video on screen right now, so definitely head over there right after this. With that out of the way, huge thank you for sticking through the video. I've been your host Paul, and I'll see you next time. Take care, peace out.